Oh my god, Star Wars issue number 20 just changed the game, guys. When Luke said nobody's ever really gone, now we see that he definitely meant that issue. Because Star Wars issue number 20 that came out a couple of weeks ago just confirmed that Luke Skywalker may as well be very much alive even after he died in The Last Jedi. So to understand this craziness, let's just go back to the ending of issue number 19 where Luke actually finds Yoda's final holocron. When Luke opens this holocron, he becomes his impatient self as always. Yoda starts teaching. However, the beginning portion of this message is actually something that Luke had already been taught by Yoda. Through the Force, a Jedi must see the past, the future, distant locations, friends and foes. How is this possible? The answer lies in the nature of the Force itself. He goes on to say that the Force is expanded through all things. It surrounds us, it penetrates us, but as Yoda is talking, Luke is slowly becoming more and more impatient. Luke actually disconnects from it and the holocron shuts down. Frustrated, Skywalker says that he visited 4 planets, risked both of their lives trying to use that Imperial database to find Jedi artifacts. This place, Adolem, was the last place on the list, and against all odds, I actually found something. A Jedi holocron. A holocron from Master Yoda. Luke was hopeful that he could continue his studies, but he had taught this lesson to Luke months ago when he visited him during Empire Strikes Back. So naturally disappointed, Luke goes on to express his frustration. He starts using the Force just as Yoda had taught him months ago on Dagobah. Now floating the holocron above his head, he says that Yoda told me what he said on that holocron almost word for word. Maybe I should just let it all go, as Luke is prepared to simply throw the holocron into the depths of the canyon to never be found again. But in a last-ditch attempt, he activates the holocron for one last time. And this is where Yoda starts imparting the wisdom that was unknown to Luke before. He says that locations exist where the Force is more sharply focused, but dangerous these places can be. Vergences, they are called, and should not be explored without training and preparation. The Jedi Temple on Coruscant has one such, the Living Sea of Gazian, another Jedi as well. Wait, says Luke, the Living Sea of Gazian? This is where he is intrigued because he had never heard this place before. The Gazian system, this wasn't in that Imperial database of Jedi-related sites. Luke is extremely excited that he might find a Jedi temple down there, a library or a weapon stash, could be anything, maybe even another Jedi. But once he lands on a platform, he realizes that the planet is just an empty nothingness. There's nothing here except for a vast plain of mushrooms. Similar to Dagobah, it is a biological swamp engulfing the entire planet, but this time with mushrooms. Luke jumps down. The Force does feel incredibly strong here, at least. I guess I'll look around a little, see if there's anything under all this. Suddenly, Luke's right leg gets grabbed by something, and ultimately he gets pulled down completely into the abyss. Nothing can be seen or heard at this time. The Vergence had got him. Down below in this unknown world, Luke was getting scared straight, not knowing if he would survive this terrible ordeal. Even his breathing tube got separated from him and he slowly started losing consciousness. Once he opened his eyes, he could see that there was another person beside him, asking, "Who are you?" Luke says, "I'm Luke Skywalker. What is this place?" "Say, is that a lightsaber?" says the guy. All of a sudden his lightsaber gets yanked from him and into the hands of the unknown. Haven't seen one like this. Nicely weighted, a good tool, and the hilt kind of reminds me of mine, as the person now takes out an identical lightsaber to the one that was passed on to him by his father, Anakin Skywalker. "Give that back right now," as Luke pulls out a blaster. "Sure, Luke, here you go. If you know anything about lightsabers," says the guy, "you'll know that blasters don't actually work." "I know enough. Are you a Jedi?" says Luke. "Oh yeah, Jedi Master Elzar Mann. At your service." "Are you a Jedi?" "I'm working on it," says Luke. "I'm still learning about the Force, trying to understand what it is, what it wants." "Well, how about that? Me too. That never really stops," says the Jedi Master. All of a sudden, they're transported to what is Ahch-To, as we see in the Star Wars sequels. In fact, it is heavily insinuated that this is where Luke got the inspiration to go to that place after he decided to go in exile. "There's a lot to learn. The Jedi Order goes back a long way," says Elzar. "What is this place?" says Luke. "Is this a vision?" "It's not a vision. and I'm not the Force, says Jedi Master Elzar. This planet, this place you came to, is a gigantic living organism. It's a living vergence in the Force. I don't know of another. It takes an imprint of minds that visit it. It can produce them, says the Jedi, exactly as they were at the moment they were here. So this living organism basically copies anybody who enters it. Keep that in mind as we move forward towards the end of the video. So right now you're speaking to Elzar Mann as I was when I came here. I was looking for wisdom after a vision that did come from the Force of fire and fear. That's amazing, says Luke. Did it help? I have no idea. I don't know anything that happened after I arrived, but I have a feeling if you're here for knowledge about the Jedi as opposed to the temple, things went badly for the Order. Luke goes on to explain to him that the Republic is now an empire, and that he has never met a Jedi like you. Well, this fake Elzar says that means he is dead, and if I was alive, believe me, you'd know my name. Now Elzar asks, how many Jedi have you met? Luke says 2 or 3. Obi-Wan Kenobi first told me about the Force. He died. But he sent me to another Jedi, Master Yoda. Yoda, says Elzar. He was very old when I knew him. I can't imagine how crotchety he must be in your time. But I'm glad he's still kicking around. He is wise and an incredible teacher. Who's the third Jedi, says Elzar. The third Jedi, I don't know if he counts as Luke, but his name was Anakin. He fell to the dark side, and he's not a Jedi anymore. Auspiciously, Elzar says, yeah, that happens sometimes. I can tell you're having a hard time. It's a lot, I know, and it sounds like you're doing it all on your own. Now begins the true vision. Luke gets transported to Coruscant, to the glory of the Jedi Temple. He tells him that he was alive during the Golden Age, 800 years after they ended the rule of Sith Lord Darth Bane, which puts it 200 years before the Phantom Menace. This is around the time the High Republic is taking place. So Luke is seeing this firsthand. He sees Elzar as a youngling trying to become a Jedi. In a way, Elzar shows Luke all of this to simply tell him that a Jedi's way is complicated. The Order tends to be what it needs to be at a particular time, says Elzar. At one point, the Jedi were warriors. At another point, we were teachers, bringing the light of knowledge to the galaxy. Sometimes we are explorers, and sometimes we are carved down to almost nothing. Those who are left must bear the responsibility of being one less bit of light in a galaxy filled with endless dark. This is where Elzar opens up to Luke Skywalker. Another vision opens up, one that they're traveling through the sea. This is where Elzar tells him that you don't have to be a Jedi. We're not the only game in town. The Order is a framework for understanding the Force. I think this is where Luke's transition begins, to where Yoda and Obi-Wan wanted to imprint their dogmatic Jedi views to Luke, and Elzar is basically telling him that that's not the only way to achieving light. It doesn't seem fair that you have to bear this responsibility alone. I'm a student myself, says Elzar. I know plenty, but there are many minds here inside Gazian you can speak to. Why don't you stay a while, Luke? No, says Luke, that's all right. I appreciate everything you've told me, but I should go. Ah, too bad, says Elzar. I'm sure we could have had some excellent conversation. I wish you could stay. But then again, says Elzar, as he suddenly shifts into Luke himself, part of you always will. Now Luke starts to feel pain. Come back anytime, says the other Luke. As suddenly, without warning, Luke is awakened, transported above where he came from, and on his way out, he sees a book carried by a skeleton that had been trapped here for a long time. His journey to learn more about the Jedi and the Force begins with this book. It's an invitation. What this comic just showed us is that this Gazian Vergence, that is a living organism of the Force, just cloned Luke Skywalker for good. So Luke is basically living inside here forever and ever. Think about it, guys. This Jedi, Elzar Mann, has been living here for more than 200 years. Anytime that you want to talk to him, you could come to this living planet. And now we have Luke Skywalker imprinted in this planet too. He is living here for as long as it takes. What this affectionately means, of course, is that Luke did not die in The Last Jedi. He is still alive in this living organism, which means that in canon, basically, you can contact and talk to young Luke still if you can find the living seed. As I said in the beginning, this comic just changed the game. What this means for future TV series and movies is mind-boggling. Luke has been cloned and he is still alive. Guys, let me know, what do you think about this? Will we ever see this doppelganger again? Maybe a new trilogy? Who knows, but I'm so excited. Let me know all your thoughts down below in the comments. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and if you enjoyed, leave a thumbs up down below, subscribe for dailies. Now you can have an awesome day, Star Wars fans. I'll see you in the next video, and may the Force be with you. Until then.